Hello again.
Hey, Kim, this is so much fun. We got Bigfoot in the house and
Never thought I
Yeti.
would see the day.
That is so cool. So, thank you for staying with us, Mr. Bigfoot. When there are more than one, is it Big Feet? Or is
Wait, is
it
that a question?
Bigfoots? I'm kidding. So, if there's more than one of you, is it Big Feet or Bigfoots? No, I'm just going to say it's Bigfoots.
He says, yeah, Bigfoot.
Yeah, of course, I'm just teasing. That's a terrible joke. Now, there's this one famous, iconic picture of you walking in the woods, and a lot of people have done a very detailed analysis of the photograph. Some say it's a hoax, some say it's not. Who's right?
I was trying to listen to your question, but Eric was making a joke. Um, okay.
I hope it was better
Making
than my joke.
he was making a joke about your joke. He was
Oh,
like, yeah, he's like, don't quit your day job.
yeah, I know.
Well, about the picture, okay. No, he says there's actually many pictures that do exist that we have been captured on film. We've been captured on live film and on photograph, like still print as well.
Was that one iconic one? Is that a hoax, or is it you? One of you?
He says, no, that's not a hoax.
Okay.
Um, we want our existence to be known, but part of the reason we're so elusive is it's so easy. We're up against the odds to easily be misunderstood.
Mm,
So we'd rather be elusive than misunderstood. That's why you have such a hard time
yeah.
getting us.
Yeah.
He
Well,
said,
maybe I'll put this on all the Bigfoot sites. So, people who are just fanatics about discovering Bigfoot, maybe they need to be educated. Would you like me to do that?
he says that would help because when people go hunting or searching for Bigfoot, they go with aggression. They go
I
with their
know.
guards
And
up,
fear.
and if they approached this whole situation more with respect and out of love, and we want to
Yeah.
communicate and coexist instead of say,
Wouldn't that be
aha,
nice?
then we'd be much more willing to cooperate. But we feel like their intentions are to invade our space to
Yeah.
expose us. So that's why we make it
So
so
difficult.
hard for them.
Yeah. Now, there's this video of you walking across, one of you walking across, I always think there's just like one, walking across this plain. It looks very real. And that's the second most iconic one. Is that for real? Is that you?
He says that wasn't me, but that's for real.
Yeah, I know.
Um, this he's also talking about the whole concept. He goes, you know how everything is one.
Mm-hmm.
We're all the same. He's just talking about how we're all the same. So, but it's really fascinating because humans are so. He says humans are so stuck on their own individuality that they can't see that they're all one. So they
Yes.
can't operate as one. But we can. He says we can. There's much more respect between our own species. So we can operate as one. Therefore, we have much deeper telepathic abilities between each other
Yeah.
because we respect that we are one. If
Mm.
humans could do that, respect that you're all one, you would all be much more telepathic with each other and
Yeah.
understanding each other without even having to use words.
Can you imagine how the human race would evolve if we learned that from you?
He says you people would experience peace like you've never seen it before.
Well, we need to hook up, man. We need to like get together, and you need to teach us face to face. This needs to happen, and we'll take one small step toward making that happen. But oh, that'd be awesome. Now, I heard there was a documentary. One of the blog members said there was a documentary, and I can't remember the name of it, where they actually caught a Bigfoot, put him in a cage. How awful! And then during the night, that Bigfoot was rescued and released by other Bigfoot. Is that true? I mean, was that really the real deal? Or you might not know. I don't know.
he shakes his head no.
Okay.
Um,
Seemed like that would
he
be all over the news.
yeah, he says that this isn't fair. It's not true. He says it's not fair because it's not true, but he says, remember our kind, our species has the ability to transform, or I guess just morph into different
Yeah.
dimensions.
So, yeah.
Um, so we don't stay in a place of fear like
Mm-mm.
humans do that holds you to that dimension.
Yeah.
It's not part of our makeup, he says. So it doesn't really make sense to say that someone caught a Bigfoot if you truly know what a Bigfoot is and their
Okay.
capabilities and what they're about.
Now, are Bigfoot, Sasquatches, and Yeti the same? Are they all three different species?
We all come from the same families. They're different in, I guess he goes, I guess you could say personality, like how humans are different in characteristics, but we're all the same in our type of existence. So I said, well, what are some of the
Yeah.
differences?
Ooh, good question.
He makes me feel like the yeah. Okay, we have. I'm talking Bigfoot, Yeti, and Sasquatch. So Bigfoot to me, out of all three, feel the most calm and peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I go to Yeti, he gives me a sense of much more um, loud,
Okay.
energetic, almost obnoxious.
Huh.
Um, and then he goes again, remember, we're all the same family. Sasquatch are,
Isn't it
there's
the same?
where
That's not the same as Bigfoot, Sasquatch?
the same family, he says,
Okay.
yes, but they're Sasquatch is a little more aggressive. He says
Okay.
that's where you see some of the aggression come out.
Mm.
He's like, it's the same species, but just different characteristics. So why is there different names? Oh, okay. I said, why is there different names then? It's just for their characteristics.
Okay. All right. In what part of the world are you most prevalent?
Okay. He connects Yetis with western part of the world.
Like
Um,
where?
he's showing me. He's like showing me a map. I'm looking over a map and I see Utah, I see California, I see Arizona, um, and beyond westward. Um,
I thought they were like in
now,
Siberia or something, but I don't know. I've never seen one.
when you asked that, he said Sasquatch.
Oh, okay.
When you said I thought they were in Siberia, he said Sasquatch.
So Sasquatch is more in Russia?
He goes, he says, don't think about it like Sasquatch versus Bigfoot versus Yeti in different parts of the world. He goes, again, we're all pretty much the same type of being,
Well,
just
let me
slightly
ask
different characteristics.
where are not dividing it into the three types, but where are you as a general rule more prevalent, and what part of the world?
India
India, really?
said there's a lot of
Hush
action
up,
or
Bella.
interaction in India. All the surrounding countries, India, he says the energy for the energy matches us best
Oh, I bet.
there in that
Yeah.
region of the world. Israel.
Okay.
Um, there's certain hot spots. He goes, if you want to talk about the U.S., there's certain hot spots for us and to come in and be caught on camera based on the energy, not of the people, but more like of the earth.
Earth, yeah.
Um,
So where would be one state that you're most prevalent, for example?
Okay, he says Ohio,
Okay.
um,
Ooh, where
Arizona,
you are.
West Virginia. Yeah, listen, if I freaking see a Bigfoot on my farm,
Well, you
I'm
already have
gone.
now. You already have now. Maybe
I
he'll come
tell you
visit
what,
you.
if I see the manifestation in front of me, I'm gonna
Yeah,
probably
just yeah, go visit
melt,
her.
melt into a puddle.
Go visit her. All right, well that's fine. Well, how many are there more or less of you guys on the earth at any one given time usually?
How many in that humans perceive at any given time, you
No,
mean?
how many of you are there period on an average on the earth at any one given time? 20, 100, 1,000?
He says thousands.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and it's funny. Oh, okay. He says there's thousands, but this is like making me shake. Just because, not because I'm scared, but because he's so intelligent feeling. It's like this
Mm,
mass sense of intelligence.
wow.
Kind of like Abraham Hicks. It's really strange. But
Interesting.
um, he says people should respect what they think is negative or empty space because that's where we are. That's where we're there. We're here. And although you may not be able to see us or perceive us, your energy and your actions still affect us.
Yeah.
So we hold responsibility in the way we behave and how it affects our environment. So if humans could do the same, could you imagine the difference it could make?
Oh, yeah.
So he says there's thousands of us at any given time. So he just kind of like just remember that and walk with respect. Give respect to your surroundings more so.
Yeah. Well, what
Just
is your
keeps re-
life's? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he just keeps repeating West Virginia, Kentucky. He wants to go back and answer your question
Okay.
about like where I guess where they are a lot, where they tend to hang out. West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee. Like he's um
Okay.
that must be a great area for them.
All right.
Um it feels like home.
All right. What is your lifespan generally?
He says, well, in the physical, he says because we're infinite. I'm not sure how to
I
answer
guess
that
in the
question.
physical. Your physical body, how long does it last?
Not as long as humans can last.
Okay.
He goes like he caps out around 60s.
Okay.
Um, we progress. He says physically we progress in age different, sooner, quicker. Um,
Okay.
he says they can tolerate more. Their bodies, their skin can tolerate
Yeah.
more elements, being exposed to the elements, but that does have an effect
Oh,
physically on
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Um, so he caps out around the 60s, he
What do you
says.
usually die from?
Interesting. He said sickness, like um, poison, like eating
Oh,
something
yeah.
that might be poisonous, or infection.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to move on a little quickly here. Is your society patriarchal or matriarchal?
Primarily patriarchal.
Okay. Are you monogamous?
He says, let me explain that. He
Uh-oh.
says, um, in our
Bigfoot's a
group,
player.
he says, um, love is viewed much differently to us than it is to you, to
Mm.
humans. Um, we see and understand that love does not have limits. So when humans get married,
Mm-hmm.
their love is limited to their spouse.
Hmm.
Now, granted, they love their kids, but when we talk about partnership and relationships and any sort of intimacy, we don't limit our love to one individual. It's
Okay.
supposed to be boundless. So if we feel to express our love to multiple people, or Bigfoot, he says we will. We don't limit it to just giving love to one.
Okay.
Um,
Are you talking about sexual too?
Intimate type of love.
Okay.
But all of our love is boundless. We even love others' children as if our own, and
Oh,
this
wow.
far surpasses the way humans can do that.
I
Sure,
know.
humans can do that, they can adopt, but we see all of ourselves as we are all one. We're
Mm.
all the same.
Oh, it
So,
makes me shiver.
me too.
Wow.
The love is absolutely boundless. It doesn't get hung up or caught up on stereotypes and
Yeah.
classes.
Social rules. Yeah.
He says
Okay.
there's such freedom without all of that.
Do you have any special family traditions or rituals?
Not like you guys do. As far as traditions or rituals, he resonates more with the word like rituals. Depends on what we're talking about. It's there's certain rituals we go through when we bring in new family members, when we change locations, um, even when we eat. We have rituals like you do, but they're not the same. When we eat, for example, there's much we slow down and there's much more. He says, please don't think that I am criticizing humans. I'm
No,
just trying to
I
give
want to
you,
learn. As a human, I want to learn. So lay it on me, Bigfoot. I never
he
thought I'd be
says,
saying that today. Lay it on me, Bigfoot.
he says, when it's time to eat, when it's meal time, we it's very sacred. It's very sacred. Anytime we eat, we take time to show respect and show gratitude. We're not eating and talking or taking our food and carrying it and trying to multitask like humans do. We stop and give respect and gratitude for that very meal that's providing us nourishment.
Okay.
Um, so that's definitely a ritual. It's just a sacred practice, rather.
Okay.
He
Wait,
says,
what do you eat? Sorry to interrupt you, but since we're on that subject of eating before you go into another ritual, what do you eat? Are you omnivores?
meat.
Carnivores?
He said
Meat.
meat. Um,
Meat. Okay.
Now we do eat plants, we do eat greens, but primarily meat.
Okay. All right. Any other rituals you want to talk about?
He started talking about bringing, when we bring a new family member in,
You mean a
um,
birth? Like a birth,
mhm,
or bring them in from a dimension? A birth. Okay.
birth. He
Okay.
says, it's again, he says, you humans,
You
you like,
humans.
yeah, he says, you like to gather in as many as you can and show the whole world and announce to the world your new family member. And that's great because you're excited and you're proud. But for us, it's very different. We don't like to announce to the world. It's just much more sacred. Again, it's much more quiet. It's extremely private and
Okay.
extremely intimate because we feel if we have that intimate connection immediately without the rest of the world being involved, or even just the rest of our own kind, we can have a
How's
better
that, Bella?
effect on that individual's soul as they
Okay.
grow.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna have to go a little faster here, I guess. Do you worship any gods at all?
He says, one God, one source, God's source that is source of all energy, of all matter and all makeup.
Mm.
Um, we come from divine. It's so funny how he talks. Um, we're all one. We all come from the same God source.
So just like Erik says, you are like we are, whole and part of God source, of all that is.
He says, yes, just expressed in a different way. We all come from the same source, but that source is expressing itself in a different way through different species, different genders, that sort of thing.
Okay. Now, another ritual. I mean, first of all, when you die, do you bury your dead? Do you have some sort of ceremony? Give funerals?
We bury a lot, because we come we come a long way. Um,
Be quiet, Bella. She looks like a
he's
mini Bigfoot.
okay. He says, when our loved ones die, we bury them to the earth. They belong to the earth.
So
Um,
they bury them on our earth? Or
mhm.
on. Okay.
And then he's also talking about when they eat, we bury it too.
Okay.
Um, and then he says, now the experience is very different because we can get into that if you want. When we die, and return to physical form, the experience is slightly different than what humans expect, as they transition from physical to spiritual.
Mm-hmm. Tell me.
He
Briefly,
says,
though.
yeah, he says we already have an understanding of who we are, a complete understanding of who we
Mm.
are, and the transition and where we come from. We carry that in our conscious
Mm-hmm.
constantly. Humans separate from that very easily.
Yeah.
So, because we are individuals of living in the moment and existing in the moment, we're very aware of our transition and we're very aware of what's happening. So, the transition in itself is there's no need for explanation. Like humans can go through shock, can go
Yeah.
through
So it's just like
needing
walking
that.
through a door, pretty much, for you.
The
Okay.
transition's very easy
How
compared to
come we
what
haven't
humans.
found any of your graves? You
He
hide them
says when we
well.
he says when we do bury on Earth, there's not many. We haven't very few, when we bury on Earth, but part of the reason why you haven't found, um, is we don't want you to. We will
Mm.
help you not find us because it's again it's sacred to us. We don't want
Sure.
our remains brought back
Disturbed,
up.
yeah. No. Mm-mm.
Exactly. We don't want them disturbed. So we will help conceal energetically. That's very easy to do. We'll
Oh.
help conceal our remains so that humans, I mean, it's sacred. It's just you
Like an
don't.
invisibility cloak or something? Like using energy to conceal?
He says they've been close. Researchers have
Oh.
been very close, but we'll do whatever we can to protect, um, the remains of our loved ones because of just the sacredness.
Okay. All right, well, we'll make this a stopping point. I got one more question before we go on, though. What do you think? A little Bigfoot mini me or Chewbacca Bigfoot? What do you think? What would you say?
Sasquatch.
She's a Sasquatch, yeah, 'cause she's aggressively, barking at the trash man out there, aren't you? I know. I love you
Aww.
too. All right, guys, stay tuned for the next part. Kim, thank you for this. Mr. Bigfoot,
My
thank
pleasure.
you so much. Hang around and we'll continue the interview.
Okay. Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.